Hey, welcome back to Casually Informed Gaming. Today we are jumping into a new game called Spectre Divide. This is a game from Mountaintop Studio. It's a new studio that's got some Bungie, Epic Games, Riot Games, Respawn, few veterans of the industry coming together to make a new Counter-Strike Valorant style 3v3 shooter with a little bit of a twist here. It's got what's called a duality system, where every player controls two different characters, one at a time, but you're able to place an AI, you're able to place a body around the map and switch between them seamlessly. And the cool thing about that is that, well, there's a lot of cool things about that. It gives you a lot of awareness, gives you an opportunity to set up counters for yourself or set up flanks for yourself. And what we're going to do is take a look at some of the features here. So it's got kind of a class-based system. It's got what's called endorsements, and so you pick one of the 4 classes to play from. Locking it in means that no one else on your team can take that. Each one has their own special gadgets and abilities that you can unlock, so that's like very Valorant-esque with that, where it's very specific to that type. Again, you've got the purchasing system as well, which allows you to buy and upgrade guns just like in Valorant and CS. Now, the other thing here, too, is that pre-match, you get to place your Spectre somewhere on the map. So you can place them on the map and then move your other body. And what's interesting, too, is that you're going to see here in the loadout screen is that you have a weapon for each Spectre and yourself, right? So you've got the main character and you've got your Spectre. Now, they're equivalent as far as, like, their stats are concerned, but their weapons come in a set. So there's really not any decision to make between them. It's just what do you want your primary choice to be and what do you want your secondary choice to be. And it makes for some really fun and interesting gameplay because you really can decide how you want to use those different styles of weapons to help yourself. You get this cool notification, and you'll see as we jump around where it'll tell you Spectre warning or Spectre is in danger. And so you know that wherever your other body is, that there is someone inside your radius. And there's a little radius that pops up on the map when they're in danger or when someone's nearby. And so you can kind of get an idea of, depending on where they're placed, you can have an idea where the enemy might be. And so I just switch there, immediately die, so I know someone's right over there. So I just start hard scoping it, right? And that's just me playing off myself. Now, how could they have known that I was going to be in that place to look and cover my own angle? Well, they couldn't have, right? So it gave me a unique opportunity to cover my own back, and I didn't have to translate that information to anybody or feed my team, right? I'm not relying on too many people. You're able to put yourself in control. And it's interesting too, because it's a 3-on-3, you are limited with the amount of gunfire that's going on at once. And so, of course, there's this thing called the Zeus, which is what we use to plant everything with, right? It's that bomb defusal game mode, which is just pretty typical for these games, especially ranked mode is coming out. And so when you've got that component into it, it's very typical procedure. So there's nothing really new with the gameplay as far as the objective is concerned, but it is, like I was saying earlier, you have this interesting opportunity where there's only 3 guns for each team at one time, right? You can't switch between and shoot between, and they're not active bodies, right? So when you walk up on someone's Spectre that isn't active, they're just going to be in a crouch position. So they're not on auto defense, and there's no way for them to activate without switching between them. But it's pretty cool because you get to throw. There's a little disc that you can throw where you can actually place your Spectre and transport it across the map. So you have an opportunity to transport yourself to get closer and into some positions that you otherwise can't jump to. So you'll see that a couple times as well. Very interesting stuff as far as coming through here and seeing like how it bounces off of each other. I think that it's actually like a really innovative way for us to see this sort of gameplay. I think that, you know, with it being a 3-on-3, it only requires 2 friends, right? And so you don't require as much communication or coordination to get involved with everything. I think that there's a lot of pros to that, especially because you're not relying on so many people to be as skilled as you or in the same tier. And so it makes it a lot easier for you to get into it. Again, entry level to these sorts of games. can be difficult, especially if you don't have a good group to play with, or you're not strong in your group, right? And so it's a good way for a group of characters to blend together. And it is interesting as well because it gives you that opportunity to make up for your own mistakes. Like right here, I got taken down, but I know exactly where the guy's at, so I'm gonna try and work my way over to them. I see a trail of a Spectre, so someone just threw their Spectre into a different spot. You can see that trail forming and as it comes over there. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on, but you're only ever dealing with up to 3 people at once. I can't emphasize enough how nice that feels to not have to worry about too much. Here you're gonna see me throw my disc through that gate, or through that barrier rather, and you can see my Spectre transport, and then boom, look at that, seamless. Now my body's over there, just my Spectre sitting there waiting, throw it over the fence, move around the corner here, Spectre warning, and you know, you can just bounce between them and flip between them so seamlessly. You know, I've thrown my Spectre behind enemy lines, transported into it, taken a few people out, and then even if you get killed after that, you're able to still transition back, right? I got into a fight here, gonna start a heal, switch to my Spectre, move in, know where he's at, and there we go. So it's just very cool as far as like setting yourself up. Can't emphasize enough how cool it is when you have that. You know where they're at, they know where you're at, but they don't know what's up your sleeve. And it goes both ways, right? So when you take down an enemy, you can always kind of anticipate, oh, another one might be coming through, and I might not be safe, right? The area might not be secure. So you kind of got to think twice about it. It does tell you up top what Spectres are alive, like what players are alive. So you do know that if you take a quick peek and you kill someone and you look up and they're totally eliminated, then you don't have to worry about them bouncing off of themselves, right? Then it would be more of a traditional coordination gameplay situation. But in this case, I just had my Spectre set up to totally defend my back, right? So I knew someone was coming from my backside. They didn't check that corner, and there I was. So I'm just totally anchoring down, bunkering down for myself. And it's really cool because, again, it's like it gives you more control, especially if you know what you're looking for, or if you want someone to cover your back but you can't ever get your friend to commit to that. I mean, it's so nice, especially if you're playing online. You're just able to meet with anyone really, and you always have someone that can watch your back, with that being yourself, right? I don't know, I think that this is a really fun way to change the scape a little bit, because it is a lot of the same stuff. Like Valorant came out on Xbox recently, so I've been playing that. And it is just very samey. I know, as funny as that it is to say that, but it not much is like reinventing the wheel. Now I will say the one thing that is a little more forgiving in here is that your recoil doesn't change when you move, which they make a big point to prove about that, or to do about it, because they want to make sure that the emphasis here is on skill, so the emphasis here is on aiming. And so that is way different than Valorant, because in Valorant that movement is unforgiving, and so it is definitely different, and I think more fun, because it allows you to put your shot where you want, as opposed to the Valorant issue where someone's full spread firing on you, you're full spread firing on them, and they just get you in the head, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts, because you hit three body shots, but it wasn't enough, and their one headshot worked, but they didn't really have any more skill to do with it because they were on auto fire, right? So it just allows you to really skill base this a lot more. At least that's what I feel. It'll be interesting. Ranked plays coming out soon, or I think it may have just come out, so we definitely have that to look forward to. It'll be interesting to see how that plays. I think that there's a lot of good opportunity for this game. I think all in all, it's free to play, so it's hard to argue with. I think that it's a great format, and there's really no pay to win mechanics, because it's all in-game currency that buys your weapons, right? So there's nothing that you can really buy your way to the top on it. So this is definitely one that's worth checking out. Highly recommend. Again, free to play, jump in a group and see what you can do. Run solo, it's not too bad, so give it a look. Spectre Divide is out now on Steam. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'll catch you later.